Whew, y'all, I did not expect Mayor Adams to come out swinging like this.
You shouldn't be talking to the president. Well, I'm the mayor of the biggest city in America. I will talk to who I want to talk to bring services to your city.
It's insane how quickly the tables are turning when you consider where things were at less than a year ago.
A Bronx neighborhood swarming with FBI agents earlier today. Records show the address involved is owned by a top aide to Mayor Adams.
Agents entering and leaving the house carrying boxes and files. What we do know right now, the City Department of Investigation launched a probe into Greco last year. Greco has been an advisor to Adams for decades, going back to the time when he was Brooklyn Borough President, where she had a volunteer role. This latest raid comes as the FBI is also allegedly looking into whether Adams accepted illegal campaign donations from Turkish officials. The FBI last year raided the homes of his top campaign fundraiser and one of his staffers. They also seized the mayor's cell phones.
It feels like I'm watching the mayor of New York turn a politically motivated corruption case into a massive middle finger to the state's biggest players. And honestly, considering who they are, it's really satisfying to watch. Some of the pay-to-play stuff, like, it kind of seems like it might be true, but at the end of the day, it's nowhere near as bad as a lot of the stuff the very people that we're fighting against and the very reason why we support the Trump administration have been doing for decades. So I'm not gonna sit there and have a double standard for this guy and act like the DOJ can't work out a deal with him in order to go after some of the weaponization from the previous administration.
The Department of Justice moving to dismiss the federal corruption case against Mayor Eric Adams. That's according to Fox News. Reportedly, a note was sent from the Trump administration to the Southern District of New York telling them to dismiss the charges.
In less than a year, Eric Adams has managed to trade a possible future of staring at a jail cell himself to potentially helping the Trump administration put Letitia James and Alvin Bragg in a jail cell.
Trump wants to get Letitia James and Alvin Bragg. That's what this story is all about. Nothing else there. Hochul is just an ornament, but I have gotten call after call after call that said, and all of these people have agendas who are calling it. They all have agendas, all right? And they're saying that Adams knows where the bodies are buried with James and Bragg.
So this is my question to y'all. Is Eric Adams leveraging this right now in some sort of 4D chess move? And is he making a sucker out of Letitia James and Kathy Hochul right now who think they've got him in their crosshairs? Because from the outside where I'm sitting, it looks like that might be exactly what's going on.
As we look at this relay race of life, don't worry about who gets across the finish line. Just make sure you do the right handoff with the baton so the person can continue the race. Don't get caught up in all that other stuff. Lou Rawls used to say at the United Negro College Fund, mothers and grandmothers who never knew what college was about, they used to save jars of pennies and quarters on their mantelpiece, hoping that black and brown people can go to HBCUs. And they did that not because they wanted you to buy a BMW, they wanted you to do something for the communities that you came from.
Whatever you can say about dude, he recognizes that it's not all about him, and he recognizes the role that he plays in the grand scheme, which is more than you can say for a lot of people on the other side. And not only is he leaning on cooperation with the Trump administration, but he's also fighting back against Letitia James in court.
New twist in the criminal corruption case against Mayor Eric Adams, this time coming from his defense team. Attorneys are asking the court to dismiss the case with prejudice, meaning it cannot be brought back down the road. His lawyers argue there's been misconduct on the part of the prosecutors, citing a leaked resignation letter from the former interim U.S. attorney. The Justice Department has already asked federal judge Dale Ho to drop the case. Ho has appointed an outside attorney to look into the motion and present arguments by March 7th.
Following the Department of Justice's long overdue decision to dismiss the case against Mayor Adams, someone within the government leaked a February 12, 2025 letter from the former interim U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York to the Attorney General. The leaked letter disclosed, among other things, the former interim U.S. Attorney's self-proclaimed confidence in Mayor Adams' guilt, the fact that the Southern District prosecutors were planning to re-indict Mayor Adams, including on new and equally baseless obstruction charges, charges and the wildly inflammatory and false accusation that Mayor Adams and his counsel had in essence offered a quid to the Department of Justice in exchange for the quo of the dismissal of the previous charges. The disclosure of this letter to the press, it was part of an extraordinary flurry of leaked internal Justice Department correspondence that included a memoranda from the acting Deputy Attorney General to the Southern District and an unhinged resignation letter by one of the former line prosecutors on this case. In addition to violating Mayor Adams' fundamental constitutional rights and ability to receive a fair trial, the government's leaks violated numerous statutory and court rules, including the Justice Department's own long-standing policies aimed at curbing prosecutorial misconduct. Do you guys think it's any coincidence that it's the same Southern District of New York that's been withholding the Epstein files from Attorney General Pam Bondi and Kash Patel? I hope the SDNY is ready for a real fun next 4 years. They've definitely earned it. In the meantime, Letitia James is cocky as ever.
What do you think about Mayor Adams having said that?
So at this point, there's a number of discussions going on. There's discussions going on the state level. There's a number of discussions going on the local level and private discussions. So at this point in time, I'm going to refrain from any comment until such time as we complete those discussions and determine the fate of the mayor of the city of New York. Thank you all.
Yo, check me out here. I think Letitia James suffers from serious mental illness. Look at these mannerisms real quick. Look at the way that she's blinking and flinging her head around. And she's so melodramatic. What we're gonna do with the mayor of the city of New York and the eye stare and the weird blank stare. It's so weird. Not to mention, during the February 20th press conference, Kathy Hochul actually backed off removing Eric Adams from office in favor of sticking it with some weak sauce inspector general. And you know how the Trump administration is already going through and clearing out the inspector general's office of any politically partisan hack jobs that are left.
After careful consideration, I have determined that I will not commence removal proceedings at this time. My strong belief is that the will of the voters and the supremacy and sanctity of democratic elections preclude me from any other action. I cannot deny the people of this great city the power to make this decision for themselves. And to those who conclude that decision is due to pressure from any groups or individuals, I say this.
You are absolutely right. Wow, how'd you know? I'm actually shaking in my boots right now. Thank you very much. Hey, y'all, help me get the word out there. Hit that like and subscribe button, share the video, and I got a question. From where I'm sitting, this entire situation could go either way, honestly, man. You guys, let me know what you think. How is this gonna end up? Because even if Eric Adams avoids jail, he might lose the election to be the next mayor. So how do you guys think all of this whole situation is gonna end up? Is he gonna avoid jail? Who do you think the next mayor is gonna be? Is it gonna be Cuomo?